What's going on YouTube? Come back at you with another video. Okay, we got Choke No Joke. He's reacting to and responding to this clip of Kenny Burns saying that Atlanta has held the crown in hip hop since 1994. I'm gonna show you what he said. He said, "This dude is out his fucking mind. I love you, Kenny Burns, but are you on drugs or something? I love Atlanta, but they have not had the game since 1994. What the fuck is wrong with you? 1994, the West Coast still had the game. Then it was back in NYC by 1996. You telling me that Atlanta had the game during the entire tunnel era, which was 1996 to 2001? Even you were working at Rockefeller in the early 2000s. You weren't in ATL working in the music industry. Man, stop it. Shaka Zulu was in NYC during the 90s working. Usher popped in NYC, living with Puff. Criss Cross came out in 1992, and they was a knockoff of West Coast artists. They wore khakis and lokes. Remember that Snoop Dogg line, "You think you got the bomb because I rolled you a joint? You's a flea and I'm the big dog." Who you think he was talking about? The Brat, a Chicago rapper, was doing G-Funk music, a West Coast sound with Funkdafied. Jermaine Dupri didn't break the Atlanta sound or culture. To this day, I couldn't tell you what part of Atlanta JD is from. He copied the West Coast sound with his early music. He didn't even introduce us to Atlanta culture. Outkast and the Dungeon Family did. Dallas Austin didn't even introduce the world to Atlanta culture. It's not to Outkast, Goody Mob, T.I., Gucci Mane, and others that Atlanta culture was introduced to the world. The first time I heard Decatur was from curly-headed black boy Lloyd, and he was on Murder Inc. In the Y2K is when Atlanta started taking over the game and opening the door for it to be what is the known as the hip-hop mecca today. And most of them artists learned hip-hop from NYC and West Coast culture. I know that you were trying to sell at Diddy Weekend, but let's not lie and say for the last 25 years Atlanta had the game. I know a bunch of Atlanta artists and executives who wouldn't agree with this because they had to go to NY to make it in the business all through the 90s. You sound so crazy. This game is getting real goofy now. Even Miami, Louisiana, Texas, and Virginia had a run with Timberland and Pharrell before Atlanta had it. So, Choke No Joke voicing his opinion on the situation. I pretty much agree with what he's saying. Obviously, if you were around back in the day, you know for a fact the years 1994, 1996, and even beyond, Atlanta was not running the hip hop world. Atlanta was not wearing the crown in hip hop, and that's just the facts of the situation. Not taking anything away from Atlanta, 100%. For a lot of people, they did not know anything about Atlanta music until Outkast, Goody Mob, and others came on the scene. That's just what it is. And I think it is pretty ludicrous to say that from 1994 and beyond, ATL was wearing the crown, because it took a lot for them artists in the South from Atlanta, to finally get in the game and get their foot in the door. And a lot of it, you've heard over the years, people talking about how in NYC, it was so easy to go down to these big offices and try to get a record deal, when these people in Atlanta really had to put in the work. Not saying people in NYC weren't working, but they had access to all these big, machines to help kind of get their career going. Atlanta people had to kind of break on their own. They had to do their own thing and find their own way to get in the game. And it took a while for that to happen. So it definitely was not 1994, 1996, or, all through the 90s, I have to say, until I don't remember what year Outkast dropped their first album, but the second album is when they really took over. When Aquemini dropped, that's when you really started to see the emergence. We saw it on the first album with Outkast, but it wasn't as big. Aquemini really took it to the next level. But yeah, I don't agree with that either. I'm definitely riding with Choke on this. ATL did not hold the crown from 1994. Let me know what you guys think though in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Hit the like, subscribe, share. Definitely leave some feedback. Peace.